Right now at 6, some home and business owners and independents are left cleaning up after following severe storms.
And we are much calmer today and cooler across the region. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, closing arguments are expected today for an Independence, Missouri man on trial for 2 counts of murder.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. At 6 a.m., I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Friday, January the 9th. Happy Friday to all of you. I know some of you are left with a lot of work to take care of, especially in Independence. And I know I've harped on it, but again, just do want to emphasize, this is that reminder that yes, we have a severe weather season where we see more severe weather events. But severe weather can happen at any time in the 4 states. You've got to have that plan ready to go at a moment's notice, honestly. And yesterday was another situation of those spin-up tornadoes. Thankfully, not so much. We didn't see, at least officially yet, any tornado reports in our immediate area. We did have some warnings, but it's one of those things where they can spin up very quickly, very little warning. And we can, again, we can get severe weather anytime. So make sure you've always got that safe place, that plan ready to go. Because you never know when you're going to need it. It's always good to practice it year-round.
It's so important to be weather aware.
Absolutely. And thankfully, today and the next few days don't really need to be nearly as weather aware, but you do need to keep the jacket handy because temperatures are going to start to drop. In fact, they've already dropped today. They will get even colder next week. We're going to get you through today first, starting with our live look from downtown Pittsburgh. And through the magic of television and the magic of Tim's hands and the buttons that he presses, we have managed to arrange for you this beautiful view of downtown Pittsburgh. We do have some clouds. Some of us, the skies are gradually clearing. So some of you may already have mostly clear skies. Some may be partly cloudy. Others are still fairly cloudy, but skies will continue to clear through the morning. Westco camera, 7th and range line in Joplin, looks good as well. KDOT camera just south of Pittsburgh, looking east along 171. It is dry. And our final stop, of course, the MoDOT camera, 20th and range line in Joplin. We've got a fellow with a headlight out. You got to be cautious out there. You don't ever want to drive like that. If you have a headlight out, I mean, don't get me wrong, money's tight everywhere. But do what you can to save up to get that new bulb because you don't want to take it. You don't want to take it for something so silly. A burned out light bulb. Think if it worked that way in your house. Your light bulb burns out, your front porch light burns out, and you get a ticket for it. That'd be silly. But you still want to be safe. All right, temperatures 42, both Joplin and Pittsburgh. Across the region, we've got mid-upper 30s. Then we get into the low to mid 40s. In fact, now our warmer temperatures are 43. Earlier it was 45. Yates Center, though, still the cold spot, having dropped now to 35. And our temperatures this morning, as I've been talking about, are anywhere from 15 now to 25 degrees colder right now than where we were 24 hours ago, because yesterday morning we talked about how mild it was. We were in the 50s and 60s at this time yesterday ahead of those storms. Today, partly cloudy skies out there. Future Track is hinting at showers a little earlier in the day. As I've mentioned before, I do not think that's likely. I think our better chances, which will be isolated, will come after about 7 o'clock or so with some isolated showers here and there as clouds increase across the region, and it'll leave us with cloudy skies overnight tonight. Kids heading out the door, low 40s out there, maybe some upper 30s still, upper 40s by lunch and recess, and for many of us, low 50s as you head home. Our highs today into the upper 40s, low 50s. Low 40s to start, near 50 by noon. Low 50s out there this afternoon, and northeast winds 5 to 10. We get cold tonight, even colder tonight. Could see a little bit of a wintry mix for some of us, and temperatures continue to fall as we head into the weekend. Talk about how cold it's going to get in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. Some home and business owners in Independence, Kansas have a mess to clean up from yesterday morning's damaging storm. KOAM's Kenny Foreman gives us an inside look at some of the damaged property, which included the Hub Church.
After a chaotic morning, Executive Pastor Brian Norville is grateful that nobody was harmed.
Thank the Lord there was nobody in the building at the time, so everybody was safe. And so as soon as it happened, we're good friends with the businesses across the street. And so we started getting calls and text and messages. And so we were able to respond real quick.
Witnesses say the storm struck West Main Street at about 9:45 a.m. this morning, where the Hub Church appeared to take the brunt of the damage on the inside and left debris visible on the outside.
Part of our exterior roof has been taken off, a lot of damage in our foyer area, which is a large area, and so all the lights, the ceiling has been was was tore out of there.
As for the rest of the city, the aftermath appears to be limited to just some property damage. Assistant City Manager David Cowan had nothing but positive remarks about the first response teams springing into action.
Our fire EMS and police responded, just again checking for life safety, making sure people were okay, making sure the buildings were secure. At this time, our Public Works, Streets Department are working to make sure the streets are cleared, that we get the limbs put up.
And he's confident his community will come together to bounce right back.
It's a very loving and caring community. They come together. As I was doing my tour, I saw neighbors out helping neighbors, picking up limbs. When we were at the Hub Church, the church members were showing up, helping already as we were assessing the damage to get things back in order.
In Independence, Kenny Foreman at KOAM News.
Pastor Norville estimates it will take at least several weeks or possibly months to repair the church. In the meantime, he anticipates holding services at nearby locations. A possible tornado hit central Oklahoma Thursday morning. At least 5 tornado warnings were issued in the southern and central parts of the state. This is what it looks like in Purcell, south of Oklahoma City. The storm damaged homes, knocks down trees, and scatters tree limbs. The McLean County Emergency Manager says part of Purcell suffers a power outage. The National Weather Service has not confirmed if the damage was caused by a tornado. Well, closing arguments are expected this morning, for an Independence, Missouri man on trial for 2 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder in Baxter Springs, Kansas. Testimony wrapped up yesterday afternoon at the Cherokee County, Kansas courthouse in the trial of Kyle Butts. Butts is accused in the shooting deaths of 47-year-old Jeremy Murphy of Pineville, Missouri, and 59-year-old Craig Gwynn of Anderson, Missouri, and wounding 27-year-old Seth Gwynn of Pineville. All 3 were shot in November of 2022. Butts was the first to testify yesterday morning. Under questioning, Butts admitted to the shooting, but argued that he acted out of concern for his own safety. Other witnesses who testified included psychologists who evaluated Butts from both the prosecution and defense. A special agent with KBI involved with the case also testified. The case is expected to go to the jury today. The Missouri Department of Transportation looks to make improvements to Route 96 or Central Avenue from just west of I-49 to Garrison Avenue in Carthage this summer in a $15.3 million project. The work will include pavement, traffic flow, safety, and sidewalk upgrades. An in-person meeting with project staff will be held Thursday, January 22nd from 4:30 to 6 p.m. at the Carthage Water and Electric Plant Community Room. Head over to KOAMNewsNow.com for more details, including options for a virtual meeting. The Missouri Department of Conservation is proposing changes to chronic wasting disease related regulations for deer hunters. This as CWD remains low and deer herds remain healthy. The changes include the removal of the CWD portion of the firearms deer season and antler point restrictions and CWD management zones. Instead, the department will continue its mandatory testing unless the counties where CWD has been detected in seasonal regulations and informational booklets. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The latest details on the shooting of 2 people by federal agents in Portland, Oregon on Thursday. The Department of Homeland Security said the shooting involved Customs and Border Patrol agents. Plus, President Trump says his administration will soon begin actions to target cartels on land following operations on the sea. And cooler temps are on the way. Chris will have a look at your cooler weekend forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning, the FBI is investigating another federal agent-involved shooting, this time in Portland, Oregon. The Department of Homeland Security says 2 people were shot while attempting to flee agents. Local police say a man and woman are now being treated in a hospital for their wounds. The shooting came 1 day after an ICE agent shot and killed a woman in Minneapolis. CBS News' Gwen Baumgarten has more from Portland.
Community members gathered for a vigil in Portland after a man and woman were shot there by federal agents.
The patients were transported to local hospital. and their conditions at this time are unknown.
On social media, the Department of Homeland Security said the shooting happened Thursday during a traffic stop targeting a vehicle whose driver and passenger have alleged ties to a notorious Venezuelan gang. DHS says the driver weaponized the vehicle and tried to run over agents, and that the officer who fired the gun feared for his life. The FBI's Portland office says it is, quote, investigating an assault on federal officers.
We know what the federal government says happened here. There was a time when we could take them at their word. That time is long past.
The city's mayor, Keith Wilson, is demanding a halt to federal immigration operations in Portland until a full and independent investigation is complete.
Our community deserves answers. Our community deserves accountability.
Protesters gathered outside of an ICE facility in Portland overnight.
We must remain united in peaceful opposition to efforts to tear our community apart.
State and local officials are urging community members to stay calm, especially in the wake of the fatal shooting of a woman in Minneapolis earlier this week by an ICE agent. Gwen Baumgardner, CBS News, Portland.
Last week, President Trump said he was pulling National Guard troops from Portland, Los Angeles, and Chicago after a federal court ruled against him. But earlier this week, he warned on Portland, quote, "We'll go back in when the crime starts." President Trump says his administration will soon begin actions to target cartels on land. The announcement follows months of strikes on alleged drug boats in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific, and the operation to capture Venezuela's leader to face drug trafficking charges. Trump told Fox News Thursday that now that his administration has targeted cartels on water, they'll move to focus on land. He offered no further details. Well, still to come. In this week's Doing Good, we learn more about the Timeless Travelers program, helping support residents who are young at heart. Plus, cooler temps are on the way. Chris will have a look at your cooler weekend forecast. Sometimes all a person needs to feel better is to get out for a little bit. Pittsburgh's Parks and Rec Department figured this out with the help of some young at heart residents. In this week's Doing Good report, KOAM's Ty Parks hits the road to check out the Timeless Travelers program.
One time during a game of bingo, some of the senior citizens in Pittsburgh, Kansas mentioned they would like to travel places, and with that question, Timeless Travelers was created. Recreational Program Manager Josie Maple says,
Timeless Travelers is our travel program for senior citizens. There is not an age limit or anything, but it is designed for senior citizens.
Twice a month, the Timeless Travelers load up in a van and do gas-taking trips. They are all places they can get to and back within one day.
Yeah, so we try to do a wide variety. We do some casinos, museums, shows. That way we kind of get them out and see different things.
There is a small fee which covers gas and tickets for the seniors. However, Pittsburgh Parks and Rec has received grants in the past to keep costs down.
What I like about it is it gives me an opportunity to see something, go someplace, and experience something new. And I get to meet new people. We like to be with a group of people occasionally and make new friends. And so I think if we are given those opportunities, it kind of, lightens up your life and gives you a fun attitude towards things, something to look forward to.
In Pittsburgh, Kansas, wishing the Timeless Travelers bon voyage, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Pittsburgh Parks and Rec is looking for another van they can use to take more people on the trips. They say there's always a wait list. Well, now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a cloudy start for some of us out there. Others already starting to clear. A much cooler and at least calmer day across the 4 states. Even colder into this upcoming weekend. Details when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now, 6:19. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:21 now on this Friday morning, and again, compared to yesterday, much better today, but also cooler out there today as well. We're looking at partly cloudy skies for the majority of the day, and northeast breeze around 5 to 10 miles an hour. It'll start to increase late this evening into the overnight. Now, Future Track is still hinting at some showers earlier in the day, but I do think any precipitation chances we have, which are somewhat limited, won't really start pushing in until about, say, 7, 8 o'clock this evening. And we'll start with some isolated to widely scattered showers. This is one of those things where this is not rain all over the place, but it's where rain is possible as this low pressure pushes through. So what we'll end up with In our northern counties, especially where it tends to get a little colder, we could see a brief transition for some of you to a light wintry mix overnight tonight with those showers. We are not, again, anticipating really any accumulations with the wintry stuff, but if it gets cold enough for that mix, that means at the surface it can be cold enough for some of the shower activity to potentially freeze on the ground. So you got to watch out, especially bridges and overpasses, for slick spots late tonight into early tomorrow morning. Like I said, we're not worried about any major accumulations. Rain chances in general are going to be very isolated to very widely scattered at least. And even the wintry mix situation, you may not even see it. You may not even have that transition before the rain stops, but it's at least a possibility. So just be aware that if it gets cold enough for that, you could have some slick spots tonight into tomorrow morning. Then we're going to start our Saturday with mostly cloudy skies. It's breezy tonight. It's breezy tomorrow, but that wind in a way just blows those clouds away because we are going to have a very sunny day, albeit cooler tomorrow than what we're expecting today across the area. And in fact, as we go into Sunday, even more sunshine, if that's even possible. And it's going to be cooler yet as we head into Sunday. Temperatures drop back a little more as we roll into our Sunday afternoon for those highs. And then it'll warm up again briefly. It'll get cold again. And we're going to go over those details in the extended in just a moment. But first for our Friday, again, partly cloudy skies. Some of you still mostly cloudy, gradual clearing taking place. Low 40s out there to start mid 40s by 11 a.m. Our highs today into the upper 40s and low 50s. So again, cooler than where we were yesterday for sure. And northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Into the evening, clouds thicken up, and then we are cloudy. Even if you don't see any precipitation of any kind, you'll still be cloudy tonight. We'll have the showers, and again, maybe for some, especially up north, maybe a brief wintry mix. Most of us lows into the low 30s, but again, up north, it gets a little cooler, could have some upper 20s, and those northeast winds now gusting to 25, keeping our wind chills into the low 20s as we start our Saturday. Only into the upper 40s, northeast winds still gusting to about 25. Clear skies on Sunday. Look at those numbers, upper 30s, low 40s for the highs. We're looking at the mid-20s Saturday night into Sunday. Here comes that brief warm-up. Monday, Tuesday, could get some showers. Rain chances with this next system don't look overly impressive at this point, but the temperature drop is gradual, and we eventually fall back into the upper 30s across a good portion of the area as we head toward the end of next week. Could even get some flurries, maybe a few light snow showers. So not snowmageddon by any means at this point, but we'll keep an eye on it as we get closer. Definitely colder to close out the next work week. That is a check of your forecast. We're going to send it over to Samantha now with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. A major pharmaceutical company agrees to lower drug prices for some consumers. Johnson & Johnson says it has agreed to a deal with President Donald Trump's administration to lower prices and increase access to common prescriptions. The deal will also exempt the company's drugs from tariffs. The lower cost will be applied to drugs offered in the Medicaid program, as well as the new direct-to-patient platform dubbed Trump RX. The agreement follows similar deals between Trump's administration and other major pharmaceutical companies. It's a virus most commonly linked with cervical cancer in women, but HPV is actually more common among men and is associated with rising rates of certain cancers, according to researchers from the Ohio State University Comprehensive Cancer Center. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither explains why an expert says misconceptions about HPV can put people at unnecessary risk.
It's the most common sexually transmitted infection in the U.S. About 13 million Americans, including teens, are infected with human papillomavirus or HPV every year, and lack of awareness may be putting many at risk.
HPV is extremely preventable with vaccination.
Dr. Electra Pasquette with the Ohio State University Comprehensive Cancer Center says many people don't know about the long-term cancer risk linked to HPV because only women can be tested for the virus. Experts say many mistakenly think they're primarily at risk. But every year in the U.S., HPV causes about 36,000 cases of cancer in both women and men.
It can remain in the body for many, many years, but it inserts itself into the DNA and can cause cancer to develop in up to 6 different sites of the body.
Those sites where cancer can appear from HPV are the cervix, vagina, vulva, penis, and in both men and women, the anus, as well as cancer in the back of the throat. But the CDC says HPV vaccination can prevent more than 90% of these cancers.
It is now recommended for boys and girls starting at age 9 and going through age 18. There is also a catch-up vaccine available up to age 26, and then from 26 to age 45 with shared decision-making with a physician.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, employees at one Southeast Kansas business have begun to wonder when they'll see their next paycheck.
And we've got a calmer and colder start to the day across the area. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, Jasper County's oldest resident shares the secret of long life as she passes another milestone, her 106th birthday.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. At 6:30, I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Friday, January the 9th. And of course, yesterday, a very busy day across the area. Damage in the Independence area.
Yes.
It's just, again, I know I've harped on it this morning, but it's a prime time to remind folks we can have severe weather anytime in the 4 states. We have that season. It's coming up this spring where we get it more often, or it's more likely to happen, but it can happen at any time. So you've got to stay weather aware. You've got to have your plans ready to go at a moment's notice, because it really can happen any time of the year, and we saw that yesterday, unfortunately.
Yes, but it could have been a whole lot worse.
It certainly could have been. I know for the folks impacted, it is certainly a substantial situation, yes. But in the grand scheme of things for our area, as Sam mentioned, it could have been a lot worse in the 4 states, and thankfully it did not get as bad as it possibly could have. But still, nonetheless, devastating for those that were impacted by the storms. Today, a much better day. Some of that cleanup taking place. It's going to be a little cooler, which is kind of the crazy part, to be doing cleanup in the 40s and 50s following a severe event, but the weather will cooperate with us for the next couple of days. Let's start with our live look from downtown Pittsburgh, and again, we are looking pretty good. We've got cloudy skies, and you can kind of see that there from the camera. You can see some of the city lights reflecting off the clouds in the distance. Now, others out there, especially further west, are already starting to see some clearing, and so we've got that mix, and we'll all get in on at least some clearing as we head through the morning. Westco camera, 7th and Range Line in Joplin, looks good. KDOT camera, south of Pittsburgh, along 400. It's at 69. It's looking back to the east. It looks good as well. And our final stop, MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line in Joplin. I haven't talked about which way it's pointing. I mean, if you're not familiar with Joplin, it's pointing back roughly to the north along Range Line from 20th, and it's looking pretty good as well. We are dry. We are chilly, though. 42 in Joplin, 42 in Pittsburgh, and temperatures across the region, we've got some 30s. We've got mid-upper 30s a little further to the west, and then down here to the south and east, we're getting into some low 40s out there. Bentonville now, the warm spot at 43, and Yates Center, you're no longer the only cold spot. You're tied up now with Sedan, both of you at 36 this morning. Our temperatures across the region anywhere from 15 to 25 degrees colder now than where we were 24 hours ago. And of course, 24 hours ago, we were commenting about the warmer air and the fact we were in the 50s and 60s ahead of those storms, which kind of helped set the stage for some of that energy they needed. As for today, partly cloudy skies, a northeast breeze 5 to 10. Future track hinting at showers earlier in the day, but I think any actual shower chances we have, which are going to be isolated, really won't start to show up until about 7, 8 o'clock this evening. Kids out the door this morning, about 41. We'll go upper 40s by lunch and recess, and many of us into the low 50s today. We're going to start our day in the low 40s by 9 o'clock, upper 40s by noon, low 50s again for most of us for our highs. Some of you may top out in the upper 40s today, and that northeast breeze 5 to 10. Could see a light wintry mix for some tonight. Winds increase tonight as well, and temperatures decrease into the weekend. Details on all of that in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. Employees from Successful Dreams Support Services in Independence and Parsons, Kansas have been struggling these past couple months as they are expected to still work and not get paid. KOAM's Nellie Lopez talks with several employees who voiced their concerns and struggles, hoping to get answers from the owners.
January 1st of this year that we was going to get a big raise. It's finally going to make it up to us. and we come in the 29th of December without even a paycheck.
It's been a confusing time for employees of Successful Dreams.
I had never seen Roger a day in my life until he couldn't pay us.
He walked out in the middle of all of us talking to him to his truck and left, with leaving us still wondering when or if we're going to get paid.
All the staff that works at this location in Independence, at the day service, at client group homes, some of these staff need 24-hour care, and all of these staff are still continuing to do it without any money.
But it's not just about a paycheck. It's concerns from what will happen to the clients.
JCS, Donna, Maria, all of them are just wonderful people, and they're still there. They said they will not walk out on these guys.
Guardians of the clients and workers question why management has told them the money issues came from health insurance related accounts.
Back in October, that they started getting the red flags from Sunflower saying that they wouldn't pay because they got overpaid because they were billing under 2 different NPIs.
And then he was saying that Sunflower was taking money from their account without them knowing, and it's like, well, that's against the law.
What they claim are just excuses from management. Management that is also blocking employees from receiving help.
We can't get food stamps because they won't answer their calls
to the DCF offices or the Department of Labor or any other company or corporation that the state of Kansas has for situations like this. They're not even fielding any of the phone calls.
We've also attempted to call the CEO of Successful Dreams.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
I'm not here to speak as an upset employee. I'm here speaking as a disgruntled father. This entire situation is messing with my ability to take care of my family, and I don't appreciate it. As for the outcome, justice.
In Independence, Kansas, I'm Nellie Lopez, KOAM News.
Staff say the last paycheck they received was on December 15th. We'll continue to update this story as it develops. Another business drawing workers' concerns and criticism is Starbucks. Baristas at the Starbucks in Little Rock have voted 15-5 to join Starbucks Workers United. It's now the 7th Arkansas store and 5th in Central Arkansas to unionize. That's out of some 80 stores statewide. Workers are demanding better hours, higher wages, and an end to alleged unfair labor practices as contract talks remain stalled. Well, Ron's Supermarket in Pittsburgh is celebrating its 50th anniversary. The celebration kicked off Wednesday, followed by chamber coffee and ribbon cutting yesterday. The family-owned grocer, founded in 1976, honored its legacy with promotional giveaways, including a grand prize 2026 Jeep Gladiator. Ron's thanks the community for 5 decades of support throughout the festive.
Our customers and our employees have been such a rich part of our family these 50 years. We have employees that I would say they are family to us.
The 50th anniversary celebration continues Saturday with a 50-foot cake. Well, the oldest citizen in Jasper County celebrated her 106th birthday yesterday. Helen Hubbard lives at St. Luke's in Carthage, and Nate threw her a little party. She's a World War II veteran and a big Kansas City Chiefs fan. This year, St. Luke's staff invited Helen's good friend, K.C. Wolf, the Kansas City Chiefs mascot. There were also music, cake, smiles, and plenty of photos. KOAM's Shannon Becker asked Helen the secret to a long life. She said having a positive outlook and her faith in God. You can see more from the party, photos, and videos on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. A Welch, Oklahoma native ropes in some high honors. Landry Layton, a graduate of NEO A&M College's Agriculture Department, was just crowned Miss Rodeo Oklahoma 2026. Landry comes from a long legacy of ranching and rodeo. She's also an accomplished FFA member and advocates for agriculture with her Leave a Legacy platform. As Miss Rodeo Oklahoma, she'll serve as an ambassador for both the sport of rodeo and the agricultural industry throughout the state and beyond. Well, that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Coming up, Shannon Becker joins us in the studio to break down his Big 3 live and local stories of the week. Well, welcome back. We've got Shannon Becker in the studio with his Big 3 news stories of the week. Good morning, Shannon. Thanks for joining us.
Are you doing well today?
I am. How are you?
Oh, I was just recovering from that wind yesterday. My goodness.
It was something else.
Did you see we have a video up of the Columbus in Columbus at the courthouse,
Yes.
the pole coming down.
I think a lot of people didn't realize just how strong the storms were here. You know,
Yeah.
we were hearing no reports out of Oklahoma and Independence, Kansas, but, you know, seeing that video, you're like, oh, it was right here as well.
Intense quickly. Let's take a look at the big 3 stories this week. Live and local, what's happened where you live. This is Northwest Joplin. The other night, I was out with Joplin police at a different incident, and sirens went off for this fire. It spread from an adjoining, it was like a camper next door. They'd been burning some leaves, which, you know, not really the good time of the year to burn. It has, of course, rained since then. The home is a total loss, so it spread across the yard and then to the exterior of the residence. People were living there, but there were no utilities at the time of that. Total loss, like I said. Our number 2, KOAM News Now, live and local story. The driver that caused this crash was taken to hospital for serious injuries and given a summons to court for felony DWI. A man failed to yield at West 7th Street and Black Cat Road and T-boned a pickup truck. They both traveled off the roadway into the ditch there. It was quite a dramatic crash. Surprised that people weren't hurt worse. The driver of the pickup truck upside down there, you can see there's a roadside memorial that had gotten taken out in that crash, was not even injured. Went to the hospital on his own if he wanted to later, amazingly. Our number 1 story, tragedy in Anderson this last Sunday afternoon. We were there as police were taking a closer look at that crime scene, a tragedy of a young lady from Joplin, graduated from Joplin at Missouri Southern State University. They tell us later, a couple of days later, Anderson police released more details. It was an accidental shooting that occurred at that residence, and they are still investigating. As of now, we know no one has been arrested, however. Our bonus story of the week, it was a party yesterday. I got to party at work. Got to hang out with Helen Hubbard and the KC Wolf. I tell you, it was a big crowd. We had a really good time. I couldn't believe it.
That is a packed room.
Yeah, it was really packed. In the past year, we've talked with Helen and the family for years now. It's been about 5 years. It was 2020 when she got to go to the AFC Championship game when her Chiefs finally made the playoffs. And then, of course, Super Bowl wins.
Yes.
I mean, that's quite an accomplishment. So happy birthday to Helen, and thanks to all the staff at St. Luke's for hosting us. And most of all, thanks to the KC Wolf. He really made that party special. So it was great to have him come.
Amazing. I mean, 106. Can you imagine?
And she does not act like 106.
No.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
No, and she's Jasper County's oldest resident.
Yes, oldest resident.
There's even a Helen Hubbard Day now in honor of her.
Exactly.
So I can only wish to make it that far.
I think I am. I'm halfway there.
You're halfway there.
I am really.
I'm like a quarter. I'm not even a quarter of the way.
Oh, you got time, girl. You got time.
Well, thank you so much, Shannon. We appreciate your time. We'll be right back.
All right, time now for some birthdays and anniversaries on this Friday, and we are starting in Parsons with Liam and Noah Scheibe, celebrating birthday number 1. It says, "We love you, Mom and Dad."
Well, in Sheldon, Missouri, Tom Hancock is celebrating birthday number 4. Happy birthday, Tom.
And in Webb City, Harper Johnson celebrating birthday number 14, says, "Happy birthday, sweet girl, with love from Mom."
In Carl Junction, Missouri, Ava Cran is celebrating birthday number 15. It says, "Love Mom, Joe, Dad, Ashlyn, Donovan, Nana, Papa, and Grandma Christine." Happy birthday, Ava.
And in Alba, Scotty Thornton celebrating birthday number 34. Happy birthday.
And in Columbus, Abby Nelson is celebrating birthday number 37. It says, "Happy birthday from all your family and church family."
Also in Columbus, James Hutto celebrating birthday number 38. Family is wishing you a great birthday.
And in Parsons, Shelley Young is celebrating birthday number 52. Happy birthday, Shelley.
Heading over to Webb City for Fawn Zappa celebrating birthday number 68. A very happy birthday to you.
And in McCune, Norman Christmore is celebrating birthday number 70. It says, "Happy birthday from your sisters, brothers, and family."
And we have got James Cullum in Baxter Springs celebrating birthday number 72 with love from your loving wife, Beth.
And in Webb City, Missouri, Paula Jones is celebrating birthday number 83. Happy birthday, Paula.
And we've got Chad Bartley in Wyandotte celebrating another year wiser, says happy birthday from Steve and Darlene Allen.
And in Oswego, Wade Nadine is celebrating another year older and wiser. It says, "Wish you a great year from Davis Real Estate."
And then our very own Stacy Strader is celebrating a birthday today. Now, it says Integrated Media Director, but honestly, I think she's got more titles than we could possibly fit on this sheet of paper. And she's done a lot at the station as well. When I started a few years ago, she was a producer, and she had to approve all my stories, all my scripts, before I could, put my stories together and put them on air. And it was terrifying. But it was a fear respect, if that makes sense. I respected her news judgment. I respected what she does and who she is and how she does it. But it was also that fear, like you don't want rejection from Stacy Strader on your stories. No. And now she's helping manage a number of things. A great asset to the team. We all love her very much, and a very happy birthday to you today.
Yes, she is so integral to what we do here at KOAM.
Indeed.
Well, in Arma, Kansas, Phoenix Wade is celebrating birthday number 20. Happy birthday, Phoenix.
And over in Fort Scott, Cindy Proctor celebrating birthday number 60.
And in Erie, Donna Strickland is celebrating another year. Happy birthday, Donna.
And last but certainly not least, a happy birthday to Holly Patterson. And a very happy birthday. In fact, I don't think we had any anniversaries this go around, but a happy birthday to all of you on the list. And if you want to celebrate with us, Samantha has some information that you should jot down.
Yes, they should pay attention to this email they can see on their screen right now, birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com, but they should also make sure that they pay attention to that deadline they can see on their screen, so we can make sure we have those photos, birthdays, and anniversaries, and in plenty of time to be able to celebrate with them on their special day.
Very important information there. And today, for our forecast, it is some great information, especially compared to yesterday. Things are going to be considerably calmer across the area. Starting with that future track, we are looking good. We're looking better. We're looking calmer, as I mentioned. Partly cloudy skies, a northeast breeze at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Now, future track, as you can see, is also hinting at some showers somewhat early in the, earlier than what we're expecting. So late afternoon, early evening. I do not think that's likely. What we do see should be isolated to widely scattered, but I think the best timing, if we're going to see anything, if you manage to see a shower or two, is probably going to be starting after 7 o'clock. Now, again, this is a situation, at least right now, of not rain everywhere all at once, but we will have those showers out there. Temperatures falling tonight. We're going to be colder tonight, and while most of us should fall back in the low 30s and getting kind of close to the freezing line, some of you up north may drop a hair below that tonight into the upper 20s. If that happens, and if you're seeing showers, you could see a very brief transition to a wintry mix. And if that does happen, while we're not expecting any accumulations from any kind of wintry precipitation, it could lead to slick spots. If it gets cold enough for that mix and it gets cold enough at the surface, any of the showers, the wet roadways, some of that could freeze, leading maybe to some patchy black ice or slick spots on bridges and overpasses. So not a significant impact expected, but again, our northern counties where it does get a little colder, even if you don't see that wintry mix, your temperature drops below freezing. You just want to be wary of any potential slick spots heading overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. Saturday starts mostly cloudy, but skies clear pretty quickly. It's breezy tonight, and it will be breezy again tomorrow. Plentiful sunshine by the afternoon, but not plentiful warmth. In fact, temperatures tomorrow expected to be a little cooler than what we're expecting today. And as we go into Sunday, more sunshine across the area, but believe it or not, temperatures on Sunday will be even cooler than where they're going to be tomorrow across the area. So a bit of a drop. It's getting a little bit more seasonable across the area as well after several days of very mild weather. For this morning, again, partly cloudy skies. Some of you here may still be mostly cloudy for a minute before skies begin to clear up a bit. Low 40s to start, mid 40s by 11 a.m. Got another look at your forecast and the Wake Up Recap in just a moment. And when we transition to Fox 14, astronomers have a new theory about a mysterious unknown astronomical object known as Cloud 9. That and more at 7 a.m.
This is your Wake Up Recap for January 9th, your top stories to start your day. Some home and business owners in Montgomery County, Kansas are cleaning up damage from yesterday morning's severe storms. Among the properties damaged, the Hub Church in Independence, Kansas. Witnesses along West Main Street say strong winds swept through around 9:45 yesterday morning, damaging the church and spreading debris. A possible tornado hit central Oklahoma yesterday morning. At least 5 tornado warnings were issued in the southern and central parts of the state. This is what it looks like in Purcell, south of Oklahoma City. The storm damaged homes, knocks down trees, and scatters tree limbs. The McLean County Emergency Manager says part of Purcell suffers a power outage. The National Weather Service has not confirmed that the damage was caused by a tornado. That's a check of today's Wake Up Recap. This is your Wake Up Recap for January 9th, your top stories to start your day. Some home and business owners in Montgomery County, Kansas are cleaning up damage from yesterday morning's severe storms. Among the properties damaged, the Hub Church in Independence, Kansas. Witnesses along West Main Street say strong winds swept through around 9:45 yesterday morning, damaging the church and spreading debris. A possible tornado hit central Oklahoma yesterday morning. At least 5 tornado warnings were issued in the southern and central parts of the state. This is what it looks like in Purcell, south of Oklahoma City. The storm damaged homes, knocks down trees, and scatters tree limbs. The McLean County Emergency Manager says part of Purcell suffers a power outage. The National Weather Service has not confirmed that the damage was caused by a tornado. That's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And today, much calmer and cooler across the area. Partly cloudy skies. Our temperatures upper 40s, low 50s this afternoon. Northeast winds at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Into the evening we go. Clouds increase. Could get some isolated to widely scattered showers. Up north, if temperatures drop below freezing, could have a brief wintry mix. And as I've mentioned, no accumulations expected. But and even if you don't see that wintry mix, maybe you just get the showers and it stops and then temperatures drop. Could lead to some slick spots out there as we head into tomorrow morning, especially on bridges and overpasses, so do be cautious. Most of us low 30s, but again up north, maybe some upper 20s, and northeast winds pick up as well, gusting to 25. Northeast winds tomorrow still gusting to 25, cooler upper 40s, even cooler on Sunday, upper 30s and low 40s. We get that brief warm up for Monday and Tuesday, maybe a few isolated showers, and then temperatures begin dropping back again to a more January-like level as we head toward the end of next week. And don't go out and buy all the bread and milk just yet, but we do have some at least snow shower chances toward the end of next week as well.
It might feel a little bit more seasonal for what people expect for January.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Chris. Coming up today at noon, we're making spinach and artichoke calzones in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Coming up, privacy concerns after Google unveiled new artificial intelligence features in their Gmail that might help you write emails faster.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Shannon Becker joins us in the studio to break down his Big 3 live and local stories of the week.
Plus, we're going to learn more about the annual Battle of the Badges Community Blood Drive and Chili Cook-Off in Pittsburgh, a fierce competition between the fire and police departments. However, it's going to wrap things up for us for now. We'll be back here Monday morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.